Hey friends, welcome back to Kiki's Closet. We've got a really special episode today. We're chatting with two artists who are a part of the stuttering community, and we've got a lot to talk about. Let's go.
Come and play in Kiki's Closet today.
Hey friends, I'm still here in Fort Worth, and I'm with my buddy Miles Tillman.
That's me.
Our paths crossed on tour 2020. He's doing SpongeBob, I was doing Spamilton, then he joined the Spamilton tour after that. We're here doing the show at Casa Manana, and we're here to chat with our new friend, Mark Winsky. Hey Mark!
Hey, I was told to wave later, but I'm gonna wave now.
Thank you so much for being here with me today, both of you. My first question, what color is your heart today?
My favorite color is blue, but like right now I'm feeling like a sea green turquoise deal going on.
Well, my color, my heart today is a little bit of it's a little bit red because of all this violence going on, all these shootings, and nothing's being done about it, and it fills me with anger. It's everywhere right now, and it's in my heart too.
Yeah.
But it's also a dash of blue because blue's the most calming color, and I'm here with two calming people.
Oh, Miles.
And here we go.
You're both performers, you're both artists. I want to know the first time you saw a movie or the first time you saw a play or a musical and were like, wow, I want to do this with my life.
My first Broadway show I saw, I think I was 10 or 11, and I just remember how special and awe-inspiring this piece was. And at the time, I didn't really understand the thing I was seeing and the reason it was so incredibly poignant and special and big and grand. But my first Broadway show was Ragtime.
Ragtime's a special one. How about you?
Well, I actually slipped into this by accident because in 8th grade, we had to choose an elective, and I wanted study hall, right? But it was full, so they put me in choir, and it turns out I liked it, and
Just a little bit.
a little bit, and I kept doing it in high school. I did show choir. Sophomore year, I did my first show. I did The Wizard of Oz, and I was a 6-foot munchkin. I started doing shows at my high school, and we did Hairspray my junior year. I was Seaweed J Stubbs. My berry wasn't so sweet. And I remember feeling like I could do this at that point because I really enjoyed it. And that's about when Les Mis came out on film. And I was like, I could do this better.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed being on stage, and sort of what we're going to be talking about is in high school, especially, my stutter was the worst it's been. And being on stage was a escape from that, because even doing that show, there were lines that I just could not get out in rehearsal, and I was so afraid until one day finally I could say the words, "This is my sister, little Inez," and then boom, it just kind of clicked in for me, and it was nice to be able to be someone on stage who doesn't have the same troubles and afflictions that I do.
Over 3 million Americans stutter and over 80 million people in the world stutter. Now, Mark, you have been using your social media platform to help spread stuttering awareness. What made you want to be so vocal about your own experience?
I think for the longest time, I've always been a self advocate. I've always been told growing up that it's not my fault that I stutter. It's not anyone's fault that they stutter. It's okay to stutter. But also, growing up, I was getting messages from the other side as well saying, yeah, it's okay, but like maybe you could like say it without stuttering, or say it in a different way. And what that kind of led me to was this feeling of inadequacy, that my standalone voice and my experience wasn't enough to be heard or seen or important. I guess in a nutshell, that's what took me on 8 years of this performance journey, was trying to hide this part of me. And I would be on stage, I would be like circumnavigating text and like throwing in these voluntary kind of ways to like slide in a line, or have these predetermined line readings in order to just sound like a fluent person. And I would be giving up all truth and all intention and all acting. Like I wasn't really acting, I was just saying lines in a way that would sound fluent. And that was my main goal, was, oh my god, I have to say these words perfectly. And then I had an audition, and I practiced the sides so hard at home and was ready to go. And I went in the room and did the sides, and I stuttered so much in that room. And casting was like, Mark, like, thanks for coming in. And I came out just so defeated, and immediately went internally and said, like, you fucked up. Like, you are the biggest piece of shit. You are the worst. You worked so hard, and then this happened again. And then something like shot down inside of me, like instantaneously. And I instantly thought, wait a second. If I'm gonna keep doing this, if this is my journey, I can't do it this way. I can't be driving my life and my career from the driver's seat of fear. And that changed everything. And then over quarantine, I started a TikTok. I didn't want to start a TikTok because I thought it was just dances, but I didn't plan on spreading education in that form yet. And then I posted a video, it went viral, and I was just like, okay, it's time to let this truth be heard, so it can inspire everybody else.
I've learned so much about the stuttering community and do's and don'ts through you. So I'm really so grateful that you've taken your platform and used it that way. We know that this business is so insanely difficult for literally everyone, but what have you found to be the biggest hurdle to overcome?
The biggest hurdle you have to overcome is yourself, because I think that confidence with stuttering is such a big thing. There are times when something happens in your personal life or something happens in an audition room, and for a week or two your stutter's 3 times worse than it is the rest of the year, you know. And I think that's something that is important to remember, is just that you are who you are, and that's what they want to see. That's what people want. You know, they don't want some cookie cutter performer who fits into this specific box. They want to see people walk in the door. And if I stutter when I walk in and I'm introducing myself, or I'm talking to them about my personal life, you know, like my name starts with an M and M's give me trouble. It's just like that's who I am. And once I became comfortable with that, things got easier. We all work on ourselves in different ways and trying to improve ourselves in different ways in the business, whether it's like my dancing's not as strong, my singing's not as strong. Well, for me, it's I have to work on how I communicate, and that's always my biggest work point is that I'm always thinking about taking my time. I'm always thinking about starting words the right way. I'm thinking about constantly if a word isn't going to come out, I have to change words. Working on my own sort of scanning first in my head has led to it being a strength for me. I'm very proud that like nowadays I can grab a side that I'm seeing for the first time and I can say it and I can say it with emotion and I can say it in different ways and it's a great feeling because it hasn't always been that way. But theater's helped me with the parts of myself that I wasn't always comfortable with.
Theater has a way of bringing that magic out. I think all of us, I think.
Given a percentage, like how much time would you say that you think about changing words or kind of circumnavigating a sentence?
I love percentages. So
Does he just he I just found this out. He rates every show with a percentage.
As one should.
I do. I'd say that 60% of the day I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just talking. And 40% of the day when I'm talking, I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. I'm like, I'm gonna open up the door or like the passageway, the hallway. Like, what do I want to say? Because I'm just changing. But it is a swinging scale. My partner has to remind me. She'll say, "Hey, baby, I'm not going anywhere," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Thank you."
Yeah. My next kind of challenge question is like, what if that 40% were only 30%, or at some point it would just be 0% where you're saying the words that you exactly want to say, whether we stutter or not. Is that something that you envision?
That is absolutely something that I envision. It is absolutely a goal. And that's where we want to be. We want to be able to say what we want, when we want, and how we want it. I do believe that with enough time and experience on this earth, just as a person, not as a stutterer, that it will be that way. Because even how my stutter is now from a year ago, from 5 years ago, it's progressively gotten better. And I'm very thankful for that.
We've known each other for a year and a half, and I've noticed so much more confidence in you over that time to when we're working together now. Really amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Mark, when people meet you and they don't know you stutter yet, how do you wish to be received in the way that maybe people aren't thinking about how they're responding to you? What is your ideal way for people to react?
Just by listening. No response. Just listen. Just stay in the moment, because I'm gonna say the exact words that I want to say, whether it takes me 1 second or 5 seconds. So I'm gonna say it. If you feel the need to try to help and fill in the words, I'm like, first of all, just don't. Second of all, I could take that and voluntarily stutter longer, just because it's a fun game for me to then make you wait for being rude, or I will then purposefully change that word for the only reason that it is not that word that you said. About 10 years ago, somebody told me, hey, you don't have to change your words. You can say exactly what you want to say. I was like blown away by that statement. I'm like, oh, I don't have to change words. He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh. And then I just didn't do it anymore. And it was such a freeing feeling to just say the exact things I wanted to say. And through time, it became much easier to stutter through the things that we want to say.
I think it's important for people to be cognizant of that. You never know what people are going through. You never know what people challenge with. And at the end of the day, our words are just as important as anyone else's. And we just want people to listen to them. Because if you cut us off or try to finish our sentences, at the end of the day, it's only going to make it worse, you know? Because for me, at least, when I feel rushed, it gets bad. You know, if I feel not heard, if I feel like you're just trying to get through this conversation, well, then I don't want to talk to you, you know, and it's just important to put yourself in other people's shoes, which we should always do with everybody, everywhere. And that's the best way to be an ally, is just to be in the room with us
And listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could I challenge something just real fast? What if we changed our language from good and bad stuttering to just like less and more?
I like that.
It's not good or bad. It just kind of like sometimes it happens more often, and sometimes it doesn't. And like both are good. Both are good. There is no bad.
Yeah, because good and bad puts a negative connotation on the whole thing.
Exactly.
And that's only showing my internal insecurities, is what that is. You're absolutely right about that.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Indiana University,
What the
Bloomington.
hell? I went to IU.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
When did you graduate?
2018.
Okay. I'm
Were you in Oklahoma?
yeah.
Were you Will?
Yeah.
Ray Feldman and Terry LaBolt would talk about you to me.
No way.
Yes, they would. They would talk to me about a stutterer who went there, who was in Oklahoma.
They told me about her audition like 10 years ago, saying this guy came in, he also stuttered, he was so great, and we just took notes from you and allowed him to just be himself, and like I took him in, and like
That is wild.
no way.
Small world. That's nuts. And he
Kiki's
said 10 years
Closet,
ago.
bringing the people together. Are you kidding
Look
me?
at that. Look
I
at
didn't
that.
know this.
Yeah,
I didn't know this at all.
yeah. That's nuts. Look at these puzzle pieces coming
Oh
together.
my god.
Everything's up to date in Kiki's Closet.
We got about as far as we can go.
Oh my gosh. Wow,
That's
wow, wow.
what? Are you kidding me? All right, we gotta talk more.
This is so special. I didn't even, I
That's
had no
nuts.
clue at
That's
all.
nuts.
At all.
Crazy. Look at this.
What?
I love you
Alright.
too. You both are
Okay.
amazing.
Oh, this is amazing. Thank you.
Oh my god, thank you, Mark.
Great
Yeah.
talking to the famous Mark Winsky of Indiana University's Oklahoma.
Let's go, IU.
Thank you so much for joining me here in Kiki's Closet. I appreciate you both so much. You're both kick ass. And we will see you real soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Come on and come and play in Kiki's Closet today.